definitely doing that.
Then we'll create jobs.
So let me ask you, as ABCD right about now, what companies, I mean, you being in LA or pretty much Hollywood, which has a lot of celebrities. So who are you working with trying to convince to invest into Africa? I mean, it's like what organizations, you have any connections, anybody you're trying to work with right about now with ABCD to get into Africa? I mean, I know a lot of people here have the money, but, they need somebody to give them the confidence that they can invest in Africa or something like that. So are you already working with somebody?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely. Right now we are working with Smith Global Management, which is a company that is owned by the Smith family, Will Smith.
Yeah.
His brother, Harry Smith, who has become very close to me, is a dear friend. JK and Partners and Smith Global right now are working on a memorandum of understanding to create an investment vehicle that will go into Africa and expand in the technology areas. For instance, ABCD just recently, on August 29th of this year, we had a meeting with the Vice President of Uganda. Mm-hmm. And out of that meeting, the outcome of that meeting was a trade agreement between ABCD and the government of Uganda. And what we promised Uganda was that we would help the people of Uganda by bringing investors from the United States that will invest in oil. Uganda just discovered oil not too long ago.
Yeah.
So now we're working with Smith Global Management, and what they're doing is they have a group of investors that are looking to help develop Uganda in the area of infrastructure, building infrastructure, which means building roads, telecommunication systems, and various other things. I am directly involved in this venture, even though the person that is handling this project is George, who is our project director, mm-hmm. and also a personal friend to Will Smith. He's the one that brought Smith Global to the table. I brought the Ugandan government to the table. So, to cut a long story short, mm-hmm. without being boring, what we have is we have an agreement working with Uganda,
okay.
and we have an agreement working with Smith Global,
mm-hmm.
and together we are working on putting a delegation together, mm-hmm. where we will have a delegation of about 10 businessmen, I included myself, George, and some other members of ABCD, and also some senior members of Smith Global. We're going to Uganda by November, before the end of this year. And what I would like to see is I would like to see us develop the same type of relationship with Zambia. Zambia having gone through elections,
exactly.
and I must say, I'm very, very proud of the way the elections in Zambia went.
Exactly.
So we are working on developing relationships that will benefit Africa and also the United States, because Americans need jobs.
Exactly.
So do Africans. And the Chinese, as and I don't want to be misunderstood, mm-hmm. okay? The Chinese have done for Africa what America and Britain have failed to do. Mm-hmm. America and Britain, even though they're superpowers and have the obligation to make sure that Africa maintains the dignity and stability of our economies, they have enough problems of their own, so they can't really worry about Africa. But the Chinese have come into Africa and they have brought a lot of technology to Africa. They have invested in the mines. and they have developed our infrastructure. So we can't blame them for doing what they're doing. But
we just have, a way of, regulation as a matter of, you can invest in a country as long as, you respect the labor laws,
Absolutely.
and the native people get their fair share of the business. I understand what I'm saying. So we can work with them. But we just gotta regulate and make sure that the native people are respected in terms of labor laws, and they get a fair share of the deal. So that's what I'm saying. So for you, there's a new government. You get a new president. What would you appeal to the new? What's your word to Mr. Sata or the?
Well, first of all, respect, in my opinion, is earned. If you want people to respect you, you have to respect yourself. Okay? Zambia and Africa in general, we have been beaten so badly that our self-esteem has sunk to a level that is beyond, I don't want to say beyond, let me rephrase that. We have been put in a position where we feel that we need help, we need welfare. What we need to do is change that paradigm and realize that Africa is powerful.
We have to be partners.
Treat us as equal partners. The problem we are having, again, this is just my opinion, the problem we are having in Zambia is that we have no, like you said, we have no standards, or we have no labor laws, so to speak. Because it doesn't make sense for you and me, to get up in the morning, to go to work and work on a copper mine that is supplying. Zambia, you have to think about it. Zambia is the largest producer and supplier of copper in Africa, and probably in the world, if I'm not mistaken. But we need, as Zambians, we need to realize that if we are to be respected, we have to respect ourselves. So when you have a miner who works in a copper mine where copper is selling at $8,000-$9,000 per metric ton, there should be some standards or some limits. You cannot be coming out of a hut in a house where you have no running water, no electricity, and you're going to work underground in a copper mine with no safety clothing, with flip-flops, no hard hats, no overalls, and then you come home to your family and you're making $30-$40 a month.
And then the investors and the people are making a lot of money out of it.
Of course they are.
So that's the standard we're talking about.
But if we don't demand,
exactly,
if we don't demand that respect,
you can't change what you can't.
We won't get it.
You know what? It's just like you cannot change what you tolerate. That's the thing. So it's like there's so many things we've tolerated, and to change we have to, like you said, demand and to know what the true value is. Because when you go there, you're going there as a partner. You're putting in your knowledge, whatever expertise. So people are not paying you from their pocket. It's like you're contributing. So we have to start thinking like that,
right,
to make a change. So I'm very, very glad that this event has, brought up a lot of things to move us into that direction, to say we have to redress this situation, to say, you know what, we cannot go on living life like we're beggars. We cannot be, asking for handouts all the time. We have what it takes.
That's right.
So on that note, thank you so very much.
But I would like, if I may, I would like to just add one more thing. In the spirit of the Rentse Foundation. You see, what I admire about Botswana, I lived in Botswana for 3 years.
Maintain good. The economy has been strong. Yeah.
The economy is very strong. You know why? Because the Botswana are proud people. They are a proud people. They have a population of about 1.3, 1.6 million. They have more cattle. They have more cows than they have human beings. Mm-hmm. They have about 20 million cattle in Botswana, and 1.6, 1.3 million people, 1.3, 1.6 million people. But they're very proud people. So there's something to be learned here from the Botswana, and that is the fact that they realize that they have diamonds. They realize that they are authentic, genuine black people, and they have self-respect. So there's a lot to be learned from them. Sometimes people tend to... Rentse, who you know very well, she gets into a lot of confrontations with people because she refuses to be looked at as a third world personality. And that is something that I've actually learned from her. She refuses when people come and say, well, we want to go to Botswana and buy diamonds. You can go to Botswana, and if you have enough connections, you can go into the Kalahari Desert, and for a bag of salt, you can trade and get diamonds. But it's very difficult to do that because the Botswana people guard their wealth. And we need countries like Zambia, South Sudan. South Sudan has oil, okay? They need to realize that our natural resources are a gift from God. Mm-hmm. And if we don't guard it and protect it, then anybody will come in and take it from us, and then there's nothing we can do about it.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
That's I hope I don't offend anyone, but I'm just trying to be as genuine as I can be.
No, actually, that's just self-explanatory. You know, we had a discussion, and it makes sense, and I think the viewers out there got the point. And it was really nice talking to you. And you know, it's just I'm so honored to be at the event for the launch of the foundation, and I hope to see a better Africa and better things happening for us.
I think we're moving in the right direction. Thank you. Thank you for allowing me the time. Thank you.
You're welcome.